All right, we're back here for our final feature match of the day. We got a little bonus con match coming up a little bit later, but as far as feature matches, this is our closing one for this week, and we got again two first-time feature match players. Thanks to the Saturday afternoon time slots, we get to see these players play under the spotlights this week. I'm going to be looking at Francois, who's a new player to our league. And Duncan's going to be looking at Paul G, who is quite a long time leaguer, been with us for since Capenna League, but first feature match. So what's going on in his hand over there?
You're about to see a Chief of the Scale coming out here, and that's going to be followed. Actually, sorry, no, his mana isn't quite working out. He's got a Hordling Outburst in hand, and he's got two red sources, but he didn't run them out earlier because the mana wasn't going to work for Chief of the Scale into Hordling Outburst.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a
that's a
turn.
tough ask.
Yeah, so it's going to be a turn 4 Hordling Outburst. He's also got a lot of removal here. Bring Low, Burn Away, and Arrow Storm in hand. So once if he can get ahead, he can almost certainly stay ahead. But we'll see about the getting ahead first.
Yeah, looks like a potentially Mardu deck over there. We see Just Guy colors over here for Francois. He's got Kill Shot. He's got Abzan Battle Priest. He's got Force Away. He's got Master the Way. And he's got 3 lands. So you might just kill shot this 2/3 here, being annoying. I mean, this is just about the best, one of the best things you could do on turn 2 in this format, other than tap land. Yeah, here
Yeah.
comes a Hordling Outburst. So the strategy you stated of getting on board and just killing things may end up working here.
Yeah, so he's got. I imagine this is going to be bring low, unless he really wants to conserve his mana and burn away. But yes, then now he gets in a bit. He can potentially burn away the next thing that gets played, and then maybe attack into Aerostorm after that. And Aerostorm to the face really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing a common spell that can deal 4 or 5 damage to a player. We don't really get those anymore. The most we usually get is the what we call a bolt, 3 damage to any target.
Yeah,
Um,
or something that only hits players that can't hit other targets.
so he's gonna block here with the plan of forcing away one of the other goblins and eating up that goblin. Yeah, and we can't stop down and bring low by today's standards is completely pitiful. But we played it back then. You know,
Hmm.
we're used to a 1 mana spell that deals 2 damage to a creature and a 2 mana spell that deals 3 damage to a creature at common, and we get that's our small burn spell. What's the small burn spell of the format? It's bring low. Um, yeah, so it looks like we may get a reset here if Francois wants to use his Water Whirl on these tokens. He also has Master the way. You can just knock off one of these tokens and draw a card. Looks like he's going to Water Whirl because otherwise he might have played his Jeskai banner. Looks like he's just going to hold off the assault here. Oh, he will. He's going to take 2. So,
Well, Paul drew a second Aerostorm as well as
ooh,
having another mountain in hand. So I think he's trying to figure out if now is the time to go face. He's
right.
attacked. He doesn't know what Francois got back. But I mean, this is lethal if Francois does literally nothing. But yeah, he's decided that literally nothing is probably not what's
If
happening.
it's me, I'm firing off the arrow storm because I got nothing else going on. It's not like I got a backup plan right now, right? If I'm ball, like, there's
Mm,
what's the backup plan? There is none.
Another mountain drawn, but
So Francois is going to read that Paul probably has removal, so he's not going to leave back his Swift Spear to block. All right, here comes the Arrow Storm, and this is just going to be lethal next turn, pretty much no matter what here. Yeah. So
unless he
with
can get some lifelink somewhere, but
he's got 2 Water Whirls in hand, the bounce 2, so that's not quite going to do it.
yeah, it turned out Rotter Whirling 2 tokens might have really been the play, but I'm not sure I would have been psychic enough to know that.
Yeah, there was a turn where he just had 6 mana and did nothing, and I think especially against red decks, you do need to get things off the board with with the possibility of arrow storms here. But Paul's gonna be careful here, but there's not too much that could stop it. I mean, I guess a disdainful stroke would stop it. He's wondering,
Yeah.
do I try and play around that? However, when he did cast a Tormenting Voice, Francois did not get priority. Well, a Disdainful Stroke wouldn't give him priority, so it
Yeah,
would only give
I
him
mean
priority.
his other cards in hand at the moment are Enoch Tracker and Bitter Revelation. That's what he just drew. So it looks like he's going to try slow rolling a little bit, figuring that if Arrow Storm is lethal, then then it'll probably still be lethal on a later turn, and maybe Aora will, or maybe Francois will tap down a little bit. But if there's a water roll coming here, then I don't know.
Yeah, again, it's always interesting to see new players to our league in the future matches because, like I don't know them. Like a lot of the players that have been around for a while, I can sort of know their tendencies or how they might be thinking about the game or cards or strategies that they prefer. But when we have new players, it's always fun because it's like a blank slate. So Paul, again, he's been around in the league for a while, just hasn't been in a feature match because not too friendly to European hours. But
Hmm.
yeah, he figured out I'm just gonna arrow storm. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he didn't want to do it last turn, but
Having to only get your opponent to 10 does make it a lot easier. So just looking at the deck here, he does have the two arrow storms are it. There
yeah,
wasn't a third one. But yeah, this is straight Mardu over here. He's got a planeswalker, which
is that
could
a
be very powerful. It comes down. Sorin Solemn
ooh, yeah,
Visitor.
that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Sarkhan is a bit
Advancing
more of a
to the side.
beating. Like Sarkhan will win the game a bit faster, but Soren will have a deeper impact on the long game. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Jeskai deck here for Francois. He does have a couple green morphs, I guess maybe just for boost up his power level. He has a Snowhorn Rider and the Ice Feather Raven. But other than that, he's got a Jeskai deck across the board. Lots of spells, so pretty heavy on the spells theme, which is one of the things Jeskai's doing.
Yeah, Paul didn't sideboard at all. Just stayed in game one configuration here. Opening hand, double plains, double mountain. No black mana yet. Tormenting voice, trumpet blast, Mardu Rough Rider. That's not a lot of action yet. I'm imagining we're going to see a tormenting voice right here. Yeah.
Yes, so of note, looks like Francois decided to put his opponent on the play here.
Oh,
Right,
yes,
yeah,
that's
so
slightly surprising given game one speed, but
yeah, I mean, he did see a bit of an aggressive start, and again, Francois is playing stuff like Monastery Swift Spear, which indicates that you do want to get that out as early as possible. But like I said, the decks are so clunky. I can't really fault anybody for doing it, even if it's not always 100% correct. And like I mentioned earlier, somebody in my clan chat did mention the turn 5 issue of wanting to flip your morph first. So what's Paul got here passing with all that mana?
he has not very much in hand and a Canyon Lurker on board. So that's one of the rare things that actually flips up 4 mana, getting around the 5 mana issue.
Yeah,
But it doesn't win a fight with a 2/2, but at least it was it would almost certainly trade with Seeker of the Way if that had attacked. But
yeah.
yeah, now he's got so the Mardu Rough Rider that's coming
Ooh,
down, and
okay.
left in hand he's got Plains, Murak Nightblade, a Trumpet Blast, and a Dead Drop.
All
But
right.
with only 2 cards in the graveyard, he's still a couple of turns at least away from dead dropping.
Yeah, so we got a Mardu Heart Piercer in hand here, which is probably why he opted not to. Well, I guess the 5 mana meant he wasn't going to block the morph anyway. He decided to not block the morph because he could kill it with that. The rest of his hand here is the High Spire Mantis, 3/3 Flyer, and an Ice Feather Raven, which is a little out of place here, but he does have the green mana to flip that, and sending that 5/4 back to hand actually would be a pretty big tempo hit.
Unfortunately, Paul has drawn another black card, Chief of the Scales, so he's
Okay.
kind of restricted on black mana at the moment, as well as his cards being this odd mix of aggressive and not. Like, Trumpet Blast is very aggressive, and the Mardu Rough Rider is very aggressive, but he's kind of outclassed on board right now.
Yeah, and he can just flip this right away. Or he can do it end of turn, perhaps.
I guess the decision point is going to be when Paul goes to attack, if the Rough Rider is allowed to get in there, but I imagine he probably will be,
I don't think he
especially
minds.
once Chief of the Scale is played pre-combat.
I don't think he minds if the 5/5 attacks, but
Yeah.
Paul is not going to be playing around an Ice Feather Raven out of his Jeskai opponent. That's for sure. There are more he can reasonably play around, but that's not going to be one of them. And he definitely has the air advantage here. He also has a Keru Spell Snatcher as his draw for last turn, which is a fun morph there. You can steal your opponent's spell and cast it for free. All right, he's just going to go for the attack all. He's going to give up his 2/2, I suppose, but he does have a Timely Horde Mate in hand to bring it back. Yeah, so he's going to lose 2 creatures, but he is going to get him to 7 and play a 3/2 here. Or he could just play the 3/3 flyer, but I think with that attack all indicated he was going to play this one here. This is a card that whenever I play it, whenever I have it in my hand, it's just a 4-mana 3/2 with no ability. And whenever my opponent plays it, they're getting back like a premium card into play, and I'm just like, I hate this card.
Yeah.
It just never works for me. It's like 4-mana 3/2 is such an unacceptable body in a morph meta.
Yeah, but every so often it just really pays out.
Yeah, and the thing
All
is,
right.
most of the 2-drops in this format are pretty bad. Like, there's not that many 2-drops that you're like, yeah, I really want to put this card in my deck and bring it back into play. But Secret of the Wave fits the description of a good one.
Yeah, with me it's usually like the Enoch Bondkin, where I'm like, if I bring it back, it's like, well, it's a 2/1, but then I have to start building its counters back up again, so it isn't really helping me right away.
Yeah. All right. So not too much sideboarding going on over here. Yeah, we saw that. Ice Feather Haven, not what I would necessarily think of splashing, but it made all the difference in the world in that game.
Has dropped the dead drop, I guess, figuring that it's not
Yeah.
the games probably aren't going to be going long enough for him to usefully play that one. Opening hand here, 3 land, one of each type. We've got War Behemoth as a morph, Mardu War Shrieker. We've got a Rush of Battle, and we've got a Tormenting Voice, which, unlike last time, I'm not sure if that one's getting fired off right away.
I
Oh,
guess we'll
just
have to
drew a
see.
Nomad Outpost, so I'm
All right.
imagining now that he's going to play that. Yeah, spend turn 2 on that instead of on Tormenting Voice.
Yeah, there's some issues with Francois' hand here. First of all, no further lands, but also just highly reactive. He has 2 kill shots, 2 water whirls, and now he's drawn a Valley Dasher as the only playable card. He has 2 morphs and a Jeskai banner, so all spells. Um,
Mm.
so this might be a bit of a rough go for him here if he can't draw some combination of lands here to get him on board.
How's Valley Dasher? Does he have anything that can make Valley
No,
Dasher trade usefully with the War Shrieker? No.
no, the Valley Dasher is gonna meet his end as he does as he does sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Francois finding himself just extremely behind here. His choices are to leave up mana to kill shot something, to play a Jeskai banner to have more mana next turn, or to just play a morph. None of which are extremely good options here.
Paul, meanwhile, still has the Rush of Battle and the Tormenting Voice. He's also got an Alabaster Kieran in hand, so he can just
Okay,
brawl on his turn and then follow up with a 2/3 flyer.
so Francois has gone for the kill shot option. Killing likely the yeah. So it kills the 3/3 is going to take 4, go to 14. I mean, Rush of Battle is could do Francois in here though. He does have another kill shot, but kill shot is good for when you are also attacking your opponent back. That's where you want it. You want it in the games where you can attack and then you're not taking damage. But as a
Yeah.
purely defensive card, it's not an answer. I mean, it's answer to one thing, but
The only real saving grace here, I think, is the fact that even with the Rush of Battle, Leaping Master would still have only traded for the face down morph, so it wasn't really a useful thing to do there.
It makes sense. So what? All right. Well, yeah, that's War Behemoth, big old clunker here. Yeah. So here's a Tranquil Cove, and I guess Killshot number 2 is getting deployed here. He's gonna attack. He's gonna take 2. What's Paul's follow up looking like here?
It looks like Tormenting Voice pitching a spare Swamp. And after that, he's got a Mardu Hateblade, and we'll see what comes off the top.
All right.
A kill shot of his own, and this morph is a Krumar Bondkin. So that guy could be large as well. And he does have the double black to flip it up, which is sometimes problematic.
So he's got a Alabaster Kieran here to block his opponent's Alabaster Kieran, and whatever the morph will be, he'll have to deal with that. Yeah. So Paul's just going to go ahead, attack both.
Worth attacking.
Well, this can't really get hurt by attacking here.
There is that +1/+0 and the +1/+0 and draw card was a Defiant Strike.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then he'd be doing it to the Bondkin if you didn't brawl with the Kieran. So
Right, so we do have the Water Whirl here to hopefully try to even things out a bit.
is Waterworld an instant or a sorcery?
It is an instant, the Water Whirl. So it returns 2 creatures to the owner's hand. So he will almost assuredly be doing that. Is this Russia Battle coming here? Yeah, so Russia Battle's coming. It means he's gonna have to bounce. He's gonna have to trade with the Hate Blade and bounce the other 2.
Yeah. But, not dead is not a bad result against that board at 3 life. That said, though,
he doesn't have an end hostilities, unfortunately.
Yeah,
to really get back.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, the new card in Paul's hand is a Chief of the Scale, which he's made sure to carefully tap so that he can play post combat. So he does have a follow up here.
Yeah, so there
That'll put some of the pressure right back on.
So I think we're getting a potentially face up Glacial Stalker here. So he does have the second Water Whirl, but he probably wants to get something in play first, and he doesn't just want to bounce one thing. So
yeah, and even if Paul had a removal for the Glacial Stalker, he's not insta dead to Chief of the Scale.
Nope, but it's getting there. But he will basically get another. He will get to press the reset button again here with the Water Whirl. The land off the top here, not great. And I guess we're just whirling again.
Paul just went over and counted Francois on tap mana very carefully.
Okay. Okay, so he is going to play around the potentially second Water Whirl here.
Yeah.
Going to flip it up, and I assume that both are going to get bounced here. Yeah, again, still not looking amazing, but a land off the top is very bad here.
Life at least.
Yeah, I mean he will get to draw a card here from the banner.
Yeah,
maybe find a 3-drop here. No,
the age-old question: do you pop your banner immediately, or try and leave up a bluff of some kind? Oop, and we've drawn Arrowstorm.
No, well, sometimes you just draw Arrowstorm, and all the questions are no longer relevant. The question here, I suppose, is how you tap your mana.
Yeah, do you bother attacking? Are you going to flip the morph up, or yeah? So
he's going to respect Disdainful Stroke here.
And he drew another land this turn, so he can Arrow Storm and still have Alabaster Kieran back if he wants.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
But
is there a world where he chooses? I was asking myself last time, is there a world where he chooses not to cast it? But this time he definitely cast it. So we see
yeah,
Arrow Storm take down our Sultai player here, and we get a win for Paul G. So congratulations to Paul, and we'll be
yeah.
back in a little bit with our con match a little bit later today. So once again, congratulations to Paul, and that brings to a close the week 2 feature matches.